Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to animate this ball with wings using nothing but expressions. So model a ball, have some wings on there, put everything in a sort of neutral position, have the wings a little bit down like so, and have the pivot points where the wing meets the body. Okay, first things first, delete all the history, freeze the transformations, rename the object something relevant, like I named mine left wing, or L underscore wing, R underscore wing, and body. Okay, let's start off. Select a wing and then bring up your expression editor through Windows, Animation Editor, Expression Editor, and okay, the object you have selected will show up here, and then you select the attribute you want to edit. And for us, we're going to be editing first our Z, rotate Z attribute. You can either type this right here in here, or you could just copy and paste. That's how you start the expression off. You put the object you're editing, the attribute you're editing, and then you click equals. Alright, let's start off with time times 10 semicolon. And we'll talk about all of these different parts of the expression later. So just go ahead and click create and press play. See how that looks? Okay, it's really slow. And we've just crippled our bat or bird or whatever. It's not stopping. It'll just go all the way around. So let's rewind our animation and go back in there and fix this. Now we can easily fix this by putting this in parentheses and adding a function called sine in front of it. What sine does is it makes it go back and forth. So we also need to pick a point for it to decide to go back, for the wing to go back after it goes up. So let's add times 75. Sounds like a good place. Let's click edit and see how that looks. Looks pretty good. It's a little bit fast and could use a little tweaking, but it's good. Let's bring this expression back up. Now, what you should probably do is you should create some sliders to have these functions be editable real quick, like from the channel box. And the way you can do that is it's not hard, it's very simple. You could either do the sliders on the wings themselves, but I like to put everything on the body. It makes it very easy to manipulate later on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select the body, we're gonna go up here to edit, and then we're going to add an attribute. And I've already gone ahead and added all these, but let me take you through this. So we'll do, for the flapping up and down, we'll do wing height, and we'll select keyable, float, scalar, minimum -100, maximum 100, and default to 0. And then we just click OK or add. It's telling me I already have it, so then you should do one for pivot, height, translation, and body translation. And I'll show you those later. But right now we're worried about height. So let's go back over here to our wing attribute, the one that deals with going up and down, which is a Z. And over here, instead of 10, we're going to add the name of the object where the slider is. So body, point, and then the name of the slider. So we'll do wing height. No space there. Make sure you watch out for capitalization, punctuation, anything you might have on there. Everything needs to match up perfectly. So time times body dot wing height. Then you click edit. Let's talk about time for a second. Time, the word time, it's a predefined variable in Maya that updates as the animation plays. So it contains the elapsed number of seconds from the first frame to the current frame. And that comes into play when you have something other than the standard 24 frames per second, and you want to find out exactly when in an animation something will happen. So when you want to find out how many seconds in like frame 100 is, and you're playing at like 30 frames per second, there's an easy formula you can use to get that number, and the formula is time equals frame divided by playback rate. So it would be, the time would equals, if you wanted to find out when frame 100 was happening, it would be time equals 100 divided by, if you're doing 30 frames per second, it would be 30. If you're doing 24 frames per second, it would be 24. So yeah, that's what time is in these functions. So, okay, let's go ahead and edit, and let's play that. Okay, let's try to edit one of these. Swing high, let's do like 2 so we can see how that affects it. Makes it go slower. 20 makes it go really fast, like a hummingbird or something. Well, that would probably be like 100. Let's see that. There we go. So let's bring that down to 5. Okay. I'm gonna rewind this. And you'll notice that only one wing is flapping right now. That's just for simplicity. Once we have this wing working exactly how we want it, we can just copy all of the expressions over. So let's work on some of these other attributes. So we've done the height. Let's bring up the expression editor again. And we will do the forward and backward motion of the wing. And for that, we're going to be editing Y. Now what you can do, you can just quickly copy this. If you don't want to write everything from scratch, I mean, it doesn't really matter, it's just what you prefer. Just make sure that you have everything typed in correctly. Like, you make sure you change the rotation to Y, and then plug in the name of your editors. So it's going to be translation. So wing translation. Go back over here. Rotate Y. Paste. Change to Y. Time times body dot wing translation. And we don't want the wing to be going so far forward and backwards. So let's change this angle to, I don't know, like 30. And then we can click create on that. And let's set this to 0 real quick so we can see what it looks like before and after we mess with it. Let's do 3. Okay. Then you'd want to go back in there and edit the time so that, or edit the attribute here, the slider, so that it matches up with the wing beat up and down. So we can do like a 5.2, because if you have the same number, it won't really look right. It'll look like nothing's happening pretty much. So let's offset it a little bit by putting 0.2. And he's going backwards. Just do regular 5. Let's make that a, well, that's good for now. So yeah, you got the startings out of basic bat, doing basic bat things. I'm gonna set all these to 0 to make editing a little easier. Okay, so we have the wing going up and down, and we have the wing going side to side. Now let's see if we can rotate this wing a little bit to kind of do like a figure 8 motion, because that's what wings look like when they're beating, or when something's swimming, or what have you. So let's select this. Let's get the name of the attribute first. So it's going to be wing pivot, right? So select this, bring up your editor again, and we're going to be doing rotate X. Paste this in, rotate X, wing pivot, and same deal, we don't want it to turn so much, so let's do like a 25 or 30. Let's do 30. Keep everything matchy. So create. Alright, let's see what that looks like. Wing pivot, 5. Okay. And you can see he's doing a basic little swimming motion here, flapping motion. All of this will take lots of tweaking, but for the purpose of this tutorial, it's going to be very sort of rough looking. So, alright. Let's see what else we can do to make this look good. We should probably carry over all the attributes into this wing here. Now you can either put the expressions directly on that wing, or what you could do is you could have all the expressions in the same wing, which is what I find to be easier. So let's do that. Let's select the wing and bring up the attribute editor again. Not attribute editor, expression editor. And we'll select our attributes we want to carry over. Okay, and all we have to do is just copy and paste. Except here's the thing. You're obviously going to need to change it to right wing. But if you don't put a negative sign in front of sign, it'll make the wings play kind of opposite. Let me just plug that in to the wing height so it can be more so you can see what I'm talking about. So let's do that. R wing. Let's do sign. Just no changes to sign. Edit. Let's set everything else to 0. Just put this at 5. You see that? If you don't put negative in front of sign when it's an object that's mirrored, two different objects that are pretty much mirrored, it'll do that. So we have to change that up. So just put, it's really quite simple. You just put a negative in front of sign and that'll be it. So edit that. Let's go ahead and do it for the, oops. Let's go ahead and do that for the other ones too. Go ahead and copy. Negative sign. Edit. And pivot I don't think needs one. So let's look at it without the pivot. Okay. Got that one going okay. 5 for this one. That one's going okay. What I meant to do was just leave sign without a negative, because pivot, when it's rotating like that, doesn't really need one, because it's not like it's still in the same type of like plane here, I guess. It's not needing to go up and down or whatever. If it's on the X, I think it's fine without negative sign. Anyways, so yeah, there's that. Set all the other attributes on so we can see some sort of like actual motion for this thing. That's probably this right here. Okay. And I have a bat or a bird or something that's pretty pretty convincing, you know, and it's flapping of the wing. But you might have noticed it's not really moving up and down at all. When you're flying through the air, you're not just going a straight line, you're kind of like doing a little zigzaggy thing. So that's where this comes into the body translation. And I'm going to set the body translation to function with the wings as well. So I'm not needing to go back and change two different sliders to something that's going to be matching up anyways. So what you want to do is want to select the body and bring up your expression editor. And we're going to be doing translate Y. So let's just type up this expression for the body. So we start out with the body and then translate. So it's body dot translate Y equals sine time dot body dot name of the editor, the little slider, is body translation. So it's body translation. And we can do times. And since we don't want this to be moving up and down too fast, let's just leave it at 1 and semicolon. Let's go ahead and create that. Oh, oops. Instead of time dot body, it's time times body. Sorry about that. This can get a little bit confusing. So, okay. And the body's going up and down, but the wings are behind. So let's go ahead and rewind this animation. And in the body, don't select the wings, just keep the body selected. We're going to bring up that translate Y, and we're going to copy it and paste it 2 more times. And instead of body, we're going to do L wing and R wing. And then you can see that now we have a beautiful flying thing flapping its wings majestically and what have you. And then, you know, to get the look that you want going, select the body, because everything's paired up to the body, and you can just mess with these sliders. So we can do the wing translation, we could bump that up a little bit. There's a little backstroke going, so we could do like a -6, but then it doesn't really match up, so then he reverses anyways. You just gotta mess with it, you know. It's not, it doesn't take too much fiddling with. That looks pretty good. You want to make sure that you make the height match the up and down of the ball. Do body translation, probably set that down to like, it's a little much. Let's do like a 2.5. Maybe like 4. Maybe like just 5.2. So yeah, there you go. So match body translation up to the wing height, and just mess with the other ones. Get it going how you want it. So that there's that, you know. So you can use these for expressions. You can use them for like spinning fans and gears and wheels. Things that you wouldn't want to animate by hand, you know. Things that would just be like too annoying to animate by hand. Just like small things. Like this is how they would do like the snitch in Harry Potter. You'd have, you know, the same type of thing here, except you'd have it like 1, and then you just bump these up like crazy. You do like 15, you do like, except, you know, maybe even more than that, because it's a snitch. It just, you know, beats its wings like crazy. But yeah, you know, I mean, that doesn't look half bad. If you were doing a snitch, you'd want the range to be a little bit higher up. Like, you'd want to go back and then edit the signs and have it go to so you could go and let me bring this up. you'd have this at like 100, because this is where the sign decides to go back down. So you'd have this at like 100, or forget how the snitch goes. Maybe not 100, maybe smaller even. So I mean, we could play that. Yeah, it'd probably be smarter. It might be like 50 for the snitch. Well, anyways, that's just me going off on a tangent. So you get how to do expressions and stuff. It's not too hard. You can use this for like asteroids too. You can make them rotate through space and change colors and all that good stuff. So yeah, like a butterfly now. Well, that's that. That's the entire tutorial, guys. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them on the comment section. And if it's anything significant, I'll redo the video. I'll edit the video at the end there, and I'll include that. But I hope this helps you guys. Um, expressions can really be very, very helpful in animating big scenes and having little gears like in the Transformers, like the pistons and everything. So yeah. All right. Have a good one.